Well, we have another video where Trenton has 2 glasses on the bar top, and who knows what he has in mind. And my left eye, though, is seeing something over there that's extremely interesting.
I can promise you it's not the, what did I get the other day? That's Fireball, barrel-aged Fireball. It's not that, and it smells considerably better. I don't know if you've had the chance to give it a little bit of whiff. I'm sure you've rolled it off camera and everything.
I rolled it quite a few times.
But, you know, I got a text from our old friend Harry, and it was like, hey, we got this. You want it? I was like, sure, why not?
Harry always comes through.
And, you know, we were quite fond of the release, maybe not the one that came out last year, but the year prior.
Right.
And it was up, it was top 5 of the year.
It was great.
And I mean, it is a little bit allocated, but it is the Heaven Hill 18 straight bourbon. One of those straight bourbon. It comes in this nice old box.
Yeah.
There is no. It's not like a 20-year-old mellow corn. It's not. It's just a straight bourbon. And the mash bill on this guy is 78% corn, 10% rye, 12% malted barley.
Yeah.
Well, that's quite a bit of malted barley. Actually.
Yeah, it is. It's coming in 120 proof, which, you know, it's a good sign. It's going to have some full flavor. I'm just thrilled. Let's just put it this way: when you brought home the 17 year. When you first got that, it was lights out, fantastic, and you're right, it did. I can't remember, was it 1 or 2, and our top 5 allocated that year.
The old, I think the old Fitz.
Yes.
17 edged it out just by a bit.
Just by a little bit.
I think it's because it was a little sweeter because of the wheated.
Yeah, but that 17 year was just magnificent. And then they came in next year with this 20-year mellow corn stuff, and it just didn't jive with me. I just did not.
It was fine. I wasn't a huge fan.
It wasn't all into it. It just didn't seem that good to me, and I was pretty disappointed.
Yeah.
Pretty disappointed. It's still in my closet, actually.
Yeah, I see it on the floor.
You never took it back home.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
This is an 18-year coming in at 120
proof. Yep.
And I will say, I did pay $1,500 for it.
You did not.
No, I didn't. MSRP is $349.99, and that is how much that I paid for it.
How much? I apologize. $349. I'm still reeling for that $1,500.
$349.99.
Well, that's not cheap.
No, it is not cheap.
That is absolutely not cheap. $350 is not cheap for a bottle of bourbon, but it is an 18-year age stated. And if it...
Carrie's down here for the first time, and she's eating pretzels and coughing. And
Kent's here. We just got done wrapping up the tournament. The tournament wrap-up video, and Carrie came down, and she's struggling. She's having a hard time.
She doesn't know the rules of the basement.
Yeah, she doesn't. No,
it's fine, though. It's fine.
You can't take her anywhere.
No. But Kent has himself a pour. Kyle's here tonight. He has himself a pour.
Yeah.
And I know that usually when we get these nice bottles, Ken is unable to join because of his work schedule and stuff. We figured we'd record this the same night, which we don't usually do.
No, we don't.
So that everybody could get an equal shot at trying it. So
wonderful. Let's check it out, buddy. Kyle, what you got over there?
Tastes like gasoline.
Kyle's not much of the bourbon sipper.
Toilet seat?
Stop that. Just stop it. That's just...
This is, if you look online, this is going, and it just came out, so the prices will probably fall in line. But it's going for what, $1,800?
$1,850. I saw several places. It's just, please don't do that. It's just, I don't even know what it's like, and I don't care if it's the best bourbon I've ever tasted in my entire life. It just, don't pay $1,800.
Okay. I'm getting a little bit cherry on this, some faint cherry. You getting that too? I feel like I've been saying a lot of cherry lately, so I'm making sure I'm not coming out of left field.
There's a slight cherry. I'm getting like a real dusty caramel toffee note in there that's really nice. It's a lighter sweetness in there.
If I was like a farmer in the 50s and I was sitting on my rocking chair on the porch and there's a big old tornado coming down the way, I feel like this is what it would remind me of. Like that time.
Yeah.
My house is about to get blown down by a tornado. Thankfully, because I'm drinking the Heaven Hill 18, it just narrowly missed and everybody's okay. No casualties or anything.
Are you saying that because of the age? Because
there's
definitely some dusty notes in there. There's definitely
a rocking chair type of.
There's definitely some dusty vibes coming out of there, but I really am enjoying the sweetness that I'm smelling.
I will say, I just got a little barbecue sauce. Outside of like those mesquite barbecue chips that we had at your house last night, I get a little bit of like a barbecue seasoning. Mm-hmm. Maybe a little like a twangy vinegar.
Maybe that's some of the barrel
something. I don't know.
that's coming out of it too.
It's like right at the tail end. Past that though, I wouldn't say it's as deep as complex as I remember the 17 being,
It's
or
not.
some other pours that we've
Ken,
done
I don't know
recently.
what you think. I wouldn't call it robust.
No, I think there's some really good stuff going on
Yeah.
in those.
Yeah, there's a lot of nice
But I
nuances
think
in
you're
there.
right, Trenton. The Heaven Hill 17 and the old Fitz that we did that year was a 17 as well, right?
Yeah,
Those things were just boom.
Yeah.
You know, in your nose.
Yeah, for sure.
this is one of those ones that I wouldn't, just on the nose and not on the palate, that I wouldn't say I could sit down with and you know really try and find a ton of different stuff in it.
'Kay.
But we'll see on the.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
What? It's called
You- all right.
leaking. Interesting.
Yeah, this has been poured for a while. This has been poured for half hour, 45 minutes, probably.
Well, okay. I actually lost my 17 year for about a month. And it turns out it was under the bathroom sink over there because Jay poured some
I forgot.
and put it under there. And my mom called me and she's like,
Huh.
"Did you leave a Heaven Hill 17 under the sink?" I was like, "I don't think so." I was like, "Oh yeah, Jay put it there." I kind of like this.
Yeah, this is like a big boy bourbon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is not going to be a bourbon that's going to appeal to someone who's just been into it for a while, because there's not a ton of sugary sweetness coming out of here, but it's a very mature sip. Very mature sip.
It's more like bitter and burnt, but there's a really nice viscosity to it that I think is really nice. But I do get quite a bit of like a charred, burnt, maybe a little bit of bitterness. I feel like when you're getting up to this age, you're really toying with the like, okay, is bourbon even that great after
Correct.
so many years?
What's in your wheelhouse?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Right.
Like for me personally, I'm usually around like 15 is my max, and then the Heaven Hill 17 and the
Right.
Old Fitz 17 were exceptions.
Yeah. Now, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I will say this: we have never owned bottles of the Pappy 20 year or the 23 year, but we've had some gracious folks who has sent us samples, and I would far surpass rather have this than that.
Yes.
Both of those were extremely oaky and a bit dry and just not very appealing to me. That's not this. It hasn't reached that point yet for me, but it's definitely not quite comparable to the 17 year.
No, I would say the 17 is better, but like you said, this is kind of like more of a big boy type of thing. I feel like the 17 had a little bit more sweetness to it. It wasn't as. I don't think they're apples to apples. Even they're a year apart, and I don't know what the warehouse or rick house or storage or whatever all that stuff is, but I do
like it, though.
I do like this quite a bit.
I like it quite a bit. It's just I'm really trying hard to convey how I feel about it for you folks, but you can definitely taste the age in here. I love what Trenton said about burnt. There's a lot of burnt things. You know, this is Trenton's word. I'll take him out of his mouth, not in a bad way, right? There's some burnt caramel in there. There's some burnt brown sugar in there. There's some. Kid, you get like it's not a deep barrel char note in there, but there's a nice barrel note in
What I
there.
like the most about it is, what'd you say the barley?
12%.
12% barley.
Barley in there is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I know a lot of distilleries use like anywhere from 1 to 5%. It's a pretty low barley. Usually barley is the lowest percentage. I think barley adds a ton of flavor.
That's what makes
To
it
stuff.
complex to me.
I agree.
It's a whole nother level of types of flavors.
That's a
Yeah.
great point. That's a great point.
I'd be curious to see, because like I know American single malts are kind of on the up and up a little bit.
Yeah.
If distilleries are trying more, and I mean it's hard to say because this was put in a barrel 18 years ago.
Right.
I was 9 years old.
Yeah, but maybe they pulled it for that reason
Right.
too. With the
Yeah.
higher barley count.
That it's starting to lean a little bit more
Yeah.
towards that complexity of a higher barley with a single malt.
Yeah. I think, and honestly, that like Kip brought that up, is that barley is what's bringing in those burnt factors
Yeah, exactly.
into the tasting notes here.
It
Yeah.
adds a ton to that bottle.
It really does.
Does anybody else get like a limestoney or like a? There's some kind of twanginess in it. and it's kind of minerally. That's how it's kind of jiving with me at the moment. I say limestone because it seems like it might be a little bit acidic or something. I don't even know if limestone's acidic.
Yeah.
I just think lime and stone. Lime's acidic,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I don't think it quite goes there.
I break things down real simple. I'm more of a simpleton myself.
Yeah. I think the easiest way to explain this is not a bottle that's going to be jam-packed with sugary sweetness and sticky toffee and caramel and all those things. It's just not that.
It is leaps and bounds better than last year's, even though that's not apples. That's like apples to trees.
Yeah, this is if you're lucky, not lucky, if you're fortunate enough to have one, if you choose to get one, it'd be one I would keep in a corner somewhere. And then if I ever really wanted to pull out a very well-aged, bourbon, I would pull that out. On those days.
We had done a couple videos where it's like Friday night pour, impress your guests, special occasion, like that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. This is like super special occasion. You invite a couple really good friends over that can appreciate this. This isn't something.
Yes.
If you have somebody who's coming over that might not be as experienced with either higher age stuff or is kind of new into bourbon, I don't know that this would be for them. I'm not saying don't give them some. Mm-hmm. It's a really nice sentiment.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of complexities in there that I don't necessarily think that a beginner would be able to pick up on.
Right.
But I mean, it's your bottle. If you're able to get one, I will say, hefty price tag.
Yes.
If I saw another one, I would buy it at that price.
You would.
Yeah. And that's one of those things where it's like this would sit on my shelf for 3-4 years.
Sure.
And you break that down, and it's like, okay, it's $80, $90 a year. We're leasing it, $80, $90 a year, and it's really good. Yeah. I'm pleasantly surprised.
Good.
I was kind of worried.
So I take it we're not trading for the 20-year corn whiskey. You're taking that home, and I'm keeping this.
You can keep this. I don't care.
I'm kidding. I'm joking.
I mean, it's going to be in somebody's basement, so
it's going to be somewhere.
The same trend. I would buy one if I saw it. I would call this deep, dark, and complex.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be, fun, sweet. It's not that.
It's not that.
Deep, dark, and complex.
Yep. For sure.
I don't know for me. I'd be interested to hear from you, but like, it is complex. But I don't know that if I poured this a week later, that I would really get a whole lot of other stuff in it. It seems complex in like the richness of it, but it's really kind of, in my opinion, more of a standard Heaven Hill, just at like a Big Brother Heaven Hill kind of thing that is done very well. Mm-hmm. So, and I know when you're talking, $100 is a lot for a bottle, let alone $350 for a bottle.
Absolutely, and this is not going to be up everybody's alley, and that's 100% okay. I talk to so many folks out there that say, I absolutely will not pay over $100 for a bottle. Some say I won't pay over $50.
And that's fine.
God bless you. Yeah. I'm all for you, honestly.
Gary says I won't.
That's right. Gary says that every other day. And you just got to start listening.
I think every bottle in your bar is under $50. Yep. Right around that price point.
But like I always say, it's just you stay in your lane. Whatever you're the customer, you're the consumer. Stay in your lane with whatever you're comfortable with. We're just trying to let you know, to the best of our abilities, what to expect if somebody chooses to pay $350 for this bottle, because that's not a purchase you can just run in and go, I just ran out of Wild Turkey 101. I got to get another bottle.
Yeah. 18 years don't come out too often, and when they do, it's source stuff, or it's it's a blended or something or another. I got to give credit to Heaven Hill. The price point, don't get me wrong, is very steep. Mm-hmm. But if you think that you are kind of more, heck, even if you're a beginner and you want to try something that's a little bit higher age stated, go for it. Give it a shot.
Find it in a bar somewhere.
Yeah. If you can find samples too, that'd be great. Mm-hmm. I know that I think the state of Indiana got 21 bottles.
Wow.
So it's very limited. But I'm hearing, and I can't remember if this is, it's one of the distributors in Indiana that handles Heaven Hill, and I kind of like how they're doing this. They're releasing a couple cases every month throughout the year until they hit whatever they have. So they got like a bulk shipment of let's say 100 cases of this, and they're gonna say, hey. March, we're sending out 5 cases. Yeah. April, 5 cases. And then I think it spaces out the releases. It gives everybody kind of an equal shot at potentially getting one, more so than we're just going to bombard every store at the same time.
Okay.
So it might have come and went at your store, but honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if these kind of made their rounds again, at least in Indiana. I don't know how other states are doing it, but
Oh, good to know. Good information.
what do you think about the price?
You know,
I had to ask.
I know, and I struggle anymore because I was the clown that bought $1,000 bottles, and you know that's me. Hey, I've lived that, and I try not to do any of that anymore at all. You know, because I've been there, done it, and been very disappointed. So I think it's really on the threshold of me saying it's a little too high. But then again, if you consider this bottle, as Trenton mentioned, an 18-year age statement, it's a lovely bottle. It really is. And if you treat it as such and only open it and share it with some of the folks that are kind of journeyman whiskey drinkers per se, and enjoy it for 3 or 4 years, it's going to be well worth your dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I still have the 17 at home, and that was 2 or 3 years ago. I think now.
Right.
Granted, it's like there's like that much left, but there's still quite a bit in it, and there's been a lot of memories made with it. I'm sure there will be a ton of memories made with this one.
Now, if you asked me if I would buy one if I saw it for $350, I probably wouldn't because you have one.
But if you didn't have it,
I probably wouldn't buy it because we have one. See what I'm saying? I would. There's some though that you bring down here that I would say, okay, I want my own, and I have told you that, have I not? Whatever it takes, you get me my own because I want my own.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that about this one, so it doesn't
really
floor me.
Okay.
To that point.
Interesting.
But I think it's very, very good. I really do.
I'm kind of surprised.
Whatever that's worth.
I'm kind of surprised.
No, I like it a lot.
Maybe I'm not.
I like
actually.
it a lot, but $350 is a pretty big bill.
No, it is.
Especially if Kit gets one too. They got one his house, your house. You know. Yeah, it'd be all good. All right, that's all we have for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. Heaven Hill 18-year bourbon. You don't get that very often. Trent's 100% right. As always, we ask you to please drink responsibly. See you next time right down here with Trent and me in the good old basement bourbon bar. See you there.